So this week on stream I had a viewer ask me about the state of 150 RPM hand cannons like the Dire Promise or Waking Vigil, and how maybe they stack up against a more prominent hand cannon like the Not Forgotten or even the Ace of Spades. I'll start this discussion by talking about the strengths of the Not Forgotten in the order that I prioritize. Number 1, it has perfect in-air accuracy. Number 2, Magnificent Howl makes for a very fast time to kill. And number 3, the range on it is actually pretty decent. When I state those three things, you would think that a 150 RPM hand cannon is kind of irrelevant. And for the most part, you'd be right if you were thinking about hand cannons in isolation. But in a team setting, it's a little bit different. Oh look, we found a person by himself. Better shoot him before he runs back to his team. Bang, bang, bang. What's this? He's not dead? What the hell's the problem? Is our elo not high enough? Man, I wish there was some solution to cleaning up kills better, having better team fights, and maybe even beating an Ace of Spades in a 1v1. Wait, you're telling me the answer was under our nose the whole time? You mean mixing archetypes of hand cannons can actually benefit your team? Huh, who would have thought? Well, I guess the obvious thing to do is to ask Bungie to nerf fusions again. Well, sarcastic pain explanation aside, you can see that there is some utility for using hand cannons other than Not Forgotten, so now the question is, Ace of Spades versus Waking Vigil. How do the numbers stack up? If you look at the chart on the screen, you'll see that the Ace of Spades has about a 5-meter advantage on the Waking Vigil, which is pretty significant. I mean, it is an exotic, but even when you compare it to the Kindled Orchid or the Better Devils, both have a slight advantage over Waking Vigil still. So this begs the question, what is the point of the Waking Vigil? Honestly, the benefits you'll get from a 150 is the lightweight perk, so more sprint speed and an invisible +2 to mobility. This will allow you to slightly help a low mobility build or spec into something like mods that cool down your grenade or super. Since lethal perks like Kill Clip and Rampage don't exist on this weapon yet, or even if they did, they wouldn't make that big of a difference to where it actually changes the TTK, you'll want to instead look for perks that improve the overall consistency of the weapon. If you didn't already know, 150 RPM hand cannons have naturally great base stats, recoil direction, and aim assist. Now, I've already done a pretty thorough review on the Waking Vigil hand cannon, the one you see in the background. I'll put that link in the description and the comment section. But long story short, for perks you're supposed to be looking for, I recommend opening shot, ricochet rounds, and slide shot. If you get that combination of 3, you can essentially miss your target and still get gifted headshots. It's very, very strange. But I'm not going to complain, because if I'm dueling an Ace of Spades and they don't have to hit headshots because of Memento Mori, it's nice to just get free headshots because you can shoot as fast as possible, taking advantage of that 150 RPM, and maybe, just maybe, you'll beat them in a duel and take away the advantage of the Ace of Spades completely. Oh, also, if you're playing a map like Endless Vale, where the extra range of something like Ace of Spades does not come into play, then you pretty much have every advantage using a 150. But as soon as range comes into question, I'm probably going to use the Duke or the Ace of Spades. Let's talk about the Duke for a second, because I haven't really talked about 110s. 110s have a pitiful time to kill and aren't really for dueling unless you're extremely outside normal hand cannon range. If I had to describe the playstyle of 110 hand cannon, you're either attached to the hip of your teammate to make their cleanups easier, or you're playing guerrilla warfare style, playing your cover, taking a shot every now and then from cover, and maybe you pick up a kill, maybe you don't, but when you pick up the kill, you want Rampage or Kill Clip on that hand cannon, so then you can be really aggressive and 2-tap people, beating their time to kill. I personally like to pair this with the Inertia Override perk on the Missile Titan, so if you slide over green ammo, you are guaranteed to 2-tap the next person. But of course, you can also do this with Ace of Spades, which is why this hand cannon is so popular. It fits so many different playstyles. It really is the hybrid of the 110 and the 150. And on that note, it brings this video to a close, so I hope that I've maybe convinced you to dust off a hand cannon from your vault and try a new archetype, just for fun.